Welcome back to another episode of the Champions Corner with the one and only Matty Summerfield. We are coming back to talk about that in a second. My name is Kate Elizabeth from the Champions Corner, mindset coach to Taekwondo athletes. Hello, child. How are you?
Hey, Mom. I'm good.
I always love how awkward that is for us. It's probably awkward for everyone listening too, but welcome to our weird and wonderful awkward relationship. It's fabulous. All right. So you, sir, have had a whirlwind start. No, wait, it hasn't been a whirlwind start really, because you did 3 tournaments in a matter of like 30 days, not even. Yeah?
4 comps, 7 weeks. It's been
4
a nice start
comps,
to the year.
7 weeks. Holy dooly.
Yes.
Canada Open, you got bronze. USA, Vegas. That was a fun trip.
Yeah.
Quarterfinal, that's sick. And then you just came off the back of Oceania gold medal.
Yep.
What was your 4th comp?
The selections to get into Oceania.
Selections, yeah.
The one
All
you
right.
came to.
Yes, I did come to that at the start of the year. Good Lord. That actually was really at the start of the year. That feels like it was so long ago, but it was like 2.5 months ago. That's crazy. That's so crazy. What'd you love about Vegas? What'd you love about Canada?
It was calm. It was peaceful. Kind of felt like Perth.
A
lot colder than Perth, but it felt like Perth. I had the slow, laid-back sort of environment. We had a really good pasta on that before competition. I liked that.
I love a good pasta.
And I really liked how I dialed in for a second comp in Canada. I was straight back to work the next day with Yoss and the team. So that's what I liked about Canada. Vegas, not a whole lot. It's a big money grab, and it's hard to enjoy Vegas if you're not there for gambling and strippers and
right. Definitely not there for that.
The rest that goes on in Vegas, but we made do. We had a good time once the weight cut was done. We had a good time, and yeah.
You said before that you dialed straight back in after Canada this time because there was a comp last year that you struggled with dialing straight back in. It was one of the comps that you did too over. I think it was Korea that you had 2 comps whilst you were over there, and the second one, a couple of you guys struggled to dial back in. Hey.
Yeah, no, that was Daegu, and actually we had selections, then Daegu, and then I
get my comps mixed up all the time, so I'm not sad that you just did either. What do you think?
Sorry, I want to cut you off. I want to get this right in my head. We had Daegu and we had Korea Open, and just before that we had another competition as well. Coming back, finished first competition and having to go again, like we were straight into a training camp as well. So by the time Korean Open rolled around, we were tied from comp, which wasn't a successful comp. And then we went into a hard training camp. It was hard to mentally be sharp for the next competition.
While still trying to maintain your weight in a country that you're not used to the food and the cooking facilities are different, like all of that sort of stuff would play a big part of the mental side of things as well, I would assume.
Definitely. Uncontrollable environments are a lot of added pressure.
Yeah. What do you think was different about this time when you had to dial straight back in to last year when you did it and it wasn't done so greatly?
Well, this time around, I was fighting 63 back-to-back, which meant I had to be even stricter in between competitions. But I also reflected upon previous times where I've been in the States and Canada, where I was freaking out because it's hard to get access to high-quality food. They don't have the best food, and we don't have a kitchen, so I did a lot of pre-planning on what I was going to eat. After competition, I've picked up on a bunch of things over the years that happen after competition. I was like, all right, if I want to go back to back and do well at both of these competitions, I need to minimize, I need to do my best to be ready again. So I created a bit of a program with my coaches on like what I was going to eat up like directly after competition, what I was going to do to start training again, and kind of had that in place so that I knew that I was going to be ready by US Open, and that no matter what happened, like I'm going to be able to compete again.
Yeah, just planning for the future, right? Putting it in
Correct.
place so that you're not dealing with the emotional side of things of regardless of what happens, you know what step comes next.
Yep. Yep. That's
Yeah,
it.
I really loved when you sent me that protocol. I thought that was absolute freaking genius that you guys had sat down and worked that out because it takes the thinking out of it. It takes, like, you just
Yeah.
know what you have to do and you don't have to stress because it's written down in front of you.
Yeah. There was no guesswork. There was a process,
Hmm.
and I know what happens to me after competition. My mind runs free because I've weighed in, I've been so strict, and then I've weighed in
Yeah.
and I don't have to be strict for a little bit. After competition, I tend to puff up and bloat and I swell. I get really inflamed no matter the competition.
Hmm.
The adrenaline dump causes me to get really inflamed and swollen. So I know there are things I have to do, especially if competition's only a week away again, to
Hmm.
get back to being in good shape.
Yeah, you got to look after your body for sure and your mindset.
That's it.
All right, let's go to just recently had the Oceanias in Sydney, winning gold on home soil. What does that feel like in your body to do it? Like, what goes through your mind when you win on home soil?
I think this competition was a little bit different to how it usually feels to win on home soil. This was the back end of 4 competitions in 7 weeks, and it was more of a sigh of relief
Hmm.
and more of a, "I've got this done." Like, you can take a break now, it's okay. And kind of being proud that and happy that I could be doing it on home soil. Like, I was comfortable, I was in my backyard, it wasn't like I was overseas with the pressure and if you know what I mean by that. But yeah, it was a big sigh of relief to get it done and to give myself some time to get my body right again.
Yeah, so you've been maintaining around 63s because you've done 63 in January and then the 2 in March. Sorry, the 3 in March. Those 4 comps have all been at 63. So now there's not really anything coming up until June.
Correct. Correct. You can probably tell I'm a bit puffy right now if you're watching. With a few days of just eating, and I'm going to get on top of that very soon. But, my body's been in survival mode for the past few, 4 months even, since before Christmas time. So,
Yeah, because you were home for Christmas and it was definitely a very different Christmas than the one that we had a few years ago where you may have put on like freaking nearly double digits, but we won't talk about that again.
yeah.
But yeah, this time you really locked in and you allowed yourself days that you were able to do what you wanted because at the end of the day, you're home with family and it's Christmas time and there's lots of celebrations and you can't ignore that. But you ran every day. I loved seeing you out running. I even got you into a Pilates class and your legs were shaking like there was no tomorrow. I felt very proud. It was very cool to see. It
The
was very
Pilates
cool.
was fun. I think it's important to go back and talk about the couple of years ago when I did go home and I wasn't disciplined.
Yeah.
I couldn't fight 63s at US Canada in 2024 because of that. I went home and just I enjoyed, and it
Yeah.
had an effect on the start of my year. I got back and I had some tough conversations with my coaches, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to make 16. I took that on the chin. I told them that I screwed up. I admitted that I'd screwed up and I needed some time off from 63s, and I learned from that. I this Christmas just gone, I made sure I had again plans in place to be able to enjoy myself, but to be able to start the year off strong, knowing that I was planning on making 63s 4 times in 7 weeks. So yeah,
What's that saying that we always say? Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
that
Like,
comes from that.
yeah, good old dad. Love that. But nothing's truer. Like, honestly, nothing's truer. you talk about all the things that happened and you learn from your mistakes and you learn from, like, this is with everything in life, not just taekwondo or eating or anything like that. Like, every failure, every loss, every disappointment is a lesson. It is just information that you can use later on.
Yeah, I think that's one of my best skills is once I screw up, I learn from it straight away. I'll go back, I'll reflect, and I've recently been reading the Obstacle is the Way, and
Mm,
taught me a lot that failure is important, and with those failures you build. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be something in the way, and you just tackle it. You learn from it. You work out how to get through it. Each time I screw up, I find a way to not do it again.
yeah, do you know, I don't know if you know this, but years ago when you were back home, and this sounds really cocky, but you were pretty untouchable back in Perth. We don't have a lot of competitions. There wasn't a lot of people that you could fight, so you're fighting the same people all the time. And I used to actually say out loud to other parents and stuff, like, you actually need to lose because you're not learning anything by winning all the time.
Yeah.
You weren't getting better. You weren't growing. You weren't evolving as an athlete. And yeah, I used to say all the time, he just needs to lose. Just needs to lose so that he can learn and get better. And you went overseas and may have got your ass handed to you a few times, but you learnt. You
I
learned
think
from those problems.
one of the biggest parts of my careers was fighting John Yu, first senior nationals.
Mm,
We had a war. We went 3 rounds and yeah, massive fight, and yeah, taught me so much. I lost. It was my first loss in so long,
yeah,
and it taught me so much. It made me hungry, and yeah, it set me up to go to junior worlds. So
you sure
I
did. Yeah, you learnt and you brought home that bloody bronze medal. And you learnt there as well. You learnt there
definitely
as
took a
well.
loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it. I was tracked there.
So going back to being in WA,
Mm-hmm.
we spoke about in episode 1 when we spoke that you were just a kid from WA and that nobody really knew who you are. Does that still feel true to you now? Is that something that you miss or something that you're ready to leave behind? Like, who is Matty Summerfield?
It's hard. In some aspects, yes, I'm still that same kid from WA. I carry that with me a lot. Like, I'm just a kid from WA. Like, I shouldn't be. Like, who's to say I should be here doing this? You know what I mean? It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy. Or who's to say that I shouldn't be? But, that I'm just a kid from WA got me so far. That doubt from everybody got me so far because I love proving people wrong. But my mindset has switched recently, and I don't have to prove a whole lot. I just need to be present and fight and do well. Like, I don't think that proving is one of my drivers anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because there was a time that you did have to prove who you
Mhm.
were before juniors and then just after juniors as well. When we went to Tahiti and we did all of them, and people were like, who is this kid? Where did he come from? Like, because over in WA, we're not really connected to the rest of Australia's Taekwondo, sadly. And yeah, you did have to prove, and then you were accepted into the NPC and moved over east before you were 18. And I think that there would have been a lot of pressure on you to prove that you belong in the
Mhm.
best of the best and in that program. And
Yeah, definitely.
now I feel like it's definitely very different. You have proved your worth to Australian Taekwondo. How does that shift from Perth to Melbourne? You've also changed clubs as well to Heart Taekwondo in Melbourne. Very, very grateful for Will and also your 2 previous clubs as well. How does that big move change for you? What does that look like?
Are you saying like moving clubs or?
I think both. I think moving clubs to somewhere Melbourne based and also just moving to the other side of the country before you turn 18.
Yeah, I think moving was a very important piece of my life. I've had to grow up quite quickly, and I'm happy. Like, I'm glad I've had to. It's taught me some life skills, and it's taught me life's hard sometimes. But I'm grateful for it. Obstacles the way, challenges are what make life. But then moving clubs, it's honestly one of the best things that's happened to me this year. I have an incredible relationship with Will. He's always looked out for me from the day I joined the NPC. He was still an athlete, and I remember everyone was trying to go hard on me, and he was too. But he was also like looking out for me in a way that, he might not have said, but it showed. Like, I feel like he's always had like my intentions at heart, like good intentions. And he's always been looking out for me for that. I'm grateful. And I haven't had the ability to work with younger athletes for quite a while. When I first started Taekwondo, I was teaching, I was assisting, and maybe I didn't love it back then, but it helped me so much. It helped me so much, and in ways I didn't know. But now one of my favorite things to do is, after I've already trained 7 times in a week, I'll go and train at heart so that I can be around the rest of the team and help them and learn whilst helping them, if that makes sense. Because if, like I'm reiterating something I learned during the week to them, it's reinforcing it in my mind. Or if I'm, teaching a strategy to somebody, I know that strategy works too. Like it's teaching myself as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Another level of learning is you learn it and then you do it and then you teach it. And yeah, it's the 3 levels of learning for sure. The shift to heart, does it change anything about how you feel connected to the WA community and the people that literally watched you grow up?
Not at all. Like, even before I was at heart, it was like I don't get back to Perth as often as I'd like to. I'd like to come home and be around other clubs as much as possible. But, now that I've joined Heart, it doesn't change that at all. Perth is still home. I just called it home then. Like, Perth is still home. As much as Melbourne is. I think I call both home now.
Yeah, and that's fair.
But no, I'd love to come back and work with, whatever clubs are open to it. Because one of my goals in Taekwondo outside of myself competing is getting WA to a standard that it can compete with the rest of the country, the same way my goal is to help Australia become a country that is good enough to compete with the rest of the world. Like, there are stages to this, and by helping WA, we help Australia. By helping Australia, we help like the top athletes in the country.
Good Lord. I feel like literally got goosebumps because I feel that so much. It breaks my heart watching all the athletes in WA be not as confident in who they are because of where we come from, I think plays a big part of it. And then Leon and I spoke about it in one of our episodes that we just want to lift Australian Taekwondo up so that Leon said, so that when other countries see us on the draw sheet, they're like, shit, we've got Australia.
Yep.
Like, that's huge. Like, oh my God, we've got that Matty B from Australia. Like, I don't want to fight him. Like, that's what we want.
Definitely heading in that direction. Like we saw going to US and Canada, we had so many medals, we had so many wins.
Yeah, from juniors and cadets and stuff as well. They did amazing. You guys did great.
Yeah, so now we're heading in the direction of Australia's not an easy country to pull. So
it's so good.
Quite happy with that, and we want to keep improving that. We want to be a country that's feared.
Yeah, because the more that we grow the athletes, this is my thinking, the more that we grow the athlete, the more that people will see it, the more funding you guys will get from everywhere. Like, the bigger it gets, the stronger you get, the more people want to be part of it. Like, it's just a no-brainer that we be better.
For sure.
We just be better.
For sure.
All right, you've got a gap between now and June.
Yes.
Unless there's a sneaky surprise that we don't know about yet. But anything is possible.
And no surprises.
It's a different kind of pressure, right? Because you're going to have to fight again in June, and this is probably the longest gap that you've had off from competitions, like mid-season, like during the season. Like Christmas time, it always starts to slow down, but mid-year, this is a pretty big gap compared to usual. How do you stay mentally sharp like that whole time?
It is a big gap, but it's going to come around quick. I can't get complacent. I can't, we've got a long time. I can't think like that. I'm giving myself this weekend. It's Easter weekend. And like I was saying before, I've been in survival mode for quite a while, so I'm kind of just letting myself be.
Guys, he's so excited for his chocolate Easter eggs this weekend.
So excited.
21-year-old going on an Easter egg hunt.
I'm gonna set one. I'm gonna set a record. I'm kidding.
Good Lord.
I'm kidding. But no, look, I'm looking forward to a little bit of downtime. I do need a little bit, but I'm also looking forward to getting back to training. This weekend gone, I've just had Oceania Champs, and I will be completely honest, I'm a little bit injured. You know, I've picked up a couple niggles injuries from the load of and pressure of 4 competitions. Nothing serious, nothing major, but I do have to nurse them and get back into the gym and build my body around them. I'm not going to say too much, like they're not serious.
They're not huge. Like, you're not having surgery or anything like that. It is like not the end of the world, that you're just getting back to looking after your body again after being in a very low calorie intake for quite a while. And food plays a massive part in rebuilding your body, right?
Yes, definitely. Dipped into Redis, but that's okay. But yeah, that's a big part too. My nutrition, I need to get that back in shape, get on top of my micronutrients, just look after my body for a little while. But in terms of training, I want to get back and work on some things that I haven't been able to work on, because when I'm cutting weight, I feel like it's a struggle to work on my Taekwondo game. I'm focusing so much on getting to competition and getting to weight that, I don't get to improve Taekwondo or fix too many of the holes that I've noticed, because the more I compete, the more I notice gaps or holes or things to work on. So now with reflections from each of the comps that I went to, like I've got 2 months now that I can work on those things and work in the gym to assist those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Question, do you watch back your fights and take notes and record what you did well and what you can improve on?
I don't do a lot of writing and recording, but I make a lot of mental notes. I watch all my fights back in due times. Some fights, it takes me a while to go back and watch.
Yeah.
It took me until December to watch back my fight against Tarara. So yeah, it took me a couple months to watch back my fight with Tarara. And then, like sometimes I watch it back the night after. Sometimes it'll take some time, but yeah, I make a lot of mental notes. I should probably write down these things, but I make a lot of mental notes or in my notes on my phone. Yeah. I have I did this. I need to focus on this. Or I make notes of who I've been fighting to in my head. Like I know, I had notes on if I was going to fight Omar Slim again at US Open, what to do, what to expect. So yeah.
Yeah, you do prepare for your fights in who it is that you're fighting against, don't you?
For sure. Yeah. I've always been one to examine my draw a little bit, work out the seeds who I'm going to fight, and then think about them. I was speaking to Sokun yesterday about Grand Prix, so I want to touch this a little bit. I don't know, it's not 100% just yet, but I should be in GP2 and GP3, which has been a massive goal of mine for my entire Taekwondo career, so I'm very happy with that. But coach was talking about how these competitions are great because you can spend time working on who you're going to fight. Because once the seeds have been released, I know that if I'm, seed 32, I'm going to be fighting seed 1. If I'm seed 17, I'm going to be fighting seed 16. And I can spend the next however long until then working out how to fight each style.
Every athlete fights differently, so you need to have a toolbox of many different techniques and stuff, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I love that you do that. I think that is just genius, because you can't always go in with... Actually, there's one thing that you do, and I love this. Before comp, you always decide that you're going to get that first point, and you always decide how you're going to do it. And I love that you do this, because the facial expressions after you do that kick, after you've done whatever it is that you've decided, you're like, fuck yeah, and that lights you up for the rest of the fight.
I think it's almost giving myself permission. if I go on with a goal like, oh, I'm going to do this first. And once I do it, it's like, yeah, I did do that first. Now I'm on. I'd be like, this is what I'm going to do first. And then that sets the tone.
Yeah.
If I need to fight a specific style, I'll do a specific technique to, put myself in that mode. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It comes down to like our brain loves ticking things off, right? And the more that we can tick things
Mine
off, the
does,
better.
for sure. Mine does, for sure.
The more we can tick those things off, the more excited our brain gets. It's that dopamine hit that it's chasing. So I put that down to the same thing as like doing the kick, tick, done, next. Like the brain's looking for the next thing that it can tick off. I think that's very cool. You come across, I want to go a little bit deeper. You travel the world, you fight all of these countries. Some of them can kick before they can walk. Some of them, it is built into them. It is who they are. Like culturally, massive difference to Australia, like generational Taekwondo countries.
Mm-hmm.
Fully funded athletes from around the world. Like what goes through your head knowing what they have behind them compared to what we have, compared to what you have?
It's a really good point you make. Like everybody does Taekwondo for different reasons. Everyone has a different why. I have friends in different countries that do it because they get paid. And they're good at Taekwondo. They get paid really good if they win at Taekwondo, and that means they get to do their hobbies for fun. They get to live a good lifestyle because they're paid good. I have friends in other countries that, don't get any funding at all, but they're obsessed. Like myself personally, I do it because I absolutely love the feeling of competing. I love Taekwondo. That's me. I love Taekwondo. I love working athletes out. I love losing and working out how to not lose again. Like that's what it is for me. So yeah.
What is it like seeing your little brother literally step into your shoes at your first club at French's?
Well, a part of me is like, dude, don't be silly. Like a part of me for sure is like, please don't fall in love with this sport and fall in love with a sport that, is going to
Not
better
hurt
your
mum's
life
bank account so much.
or better mum's life as well. No, serious. I do have a part of me that says that, but also I'm really happy that he has or is starting a sport. He's starting Taekwondo knowing that he's going to be around people that are good people, because in Taekwondo, like everyone's great. I'm happy that he's learning structure and discipline, and like Taekwondo
Yes.
shaped me, and I feel like it shaped me pretty well. I'm happy with what it's taught me, and I'm glad that he's going to be able to hopefully learn some of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that was not sad that he didn't want to do it. And then when he wanted to do it, when he said, Mum, I want to do it, I think we were watching something on Facebook or Instagram one day, and he's like, Mum, I'm ready now. And I was like, oh, yes. And then I was like, oh, my bank account, I hope he's not as good as his brother. But yeah, it's very surreal watching him. He tried your uniform on. It was very freaking cute. He's actually taller than what.
That.
Yeah, he's actually taller than what you were, so it didn't fit him.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited and terrified at the same time. I think. But agree that the discipline and the respect and the showing up and all of those skills that you learn as a young Taekwondo athlete, like he's like, Mum, let's go. And I'm like, dude, we've still got nearly an hour. Like, chill. It does not take us that long to get to training. It's fine.
I think one of the greatest bits is teaching yourself to work towards a goal. You start Taekwondo and you're a white belt, but all your friends are yellow belts. You're like, I want to be a yellow belt. And then you grade, you work everything out, and you're like, oh, now I want to be a blue belt. And then, it teaches you that reward system. I think it's important to have goals and teach you to chase them.
Yeah, he's got grading in like a month. He's so excited. We were practicing our pattern the other night and he was getting mad because I was getting it wrong. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing it wrong. I've done this for like 15 freaking years. I know my pattern. Oh, good times, good times. What is a conversation that you wish we were having more in Australian Taekwondo?
I'm not sure there's one specific conversation. I think we were just communicating a little bit more, working together a little bit more. I'm not saying everybody has to be friends, but like the
Different
more that we can
programs
work together,
in states?
the more we can work together, the better we can be. Like we don't need the best coaches. We don't need, not everyone has to be the best athletes, but the more you push, eventually you're gonna rise. Like the more athletes that can train together, and the more I think a big part is ideas too. The more we can share ideas with athlete to athlete, athlete to coach, coach to coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important that everyone shares and learns from each other.
Yeah, because there's something to learn from everyone.
For sure. Everyone in Taekwondo, everyone's style is so different. Everybody sees the sport so differently. And it's great to learn. That's one of my things right now. I just love learning, and yeah.
Yeah, growth is definitely one of my core values for sure. And I think that growth, learning, and contribution all are just going to make Australian Taekwondo better. And I do think that if there was less ego and more humility, maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but if we could literally just get everyone in a room together and everyone work together. I'm not talking like kumbaya, camp night, by the bonfire sort of stuff, but the only way we're going to get better is by everyone coming together. And I think the more competitions that we can have, the more training camps that we can have, the more we can bring everyone up together, I think is only going to improve, right? If there was just more communication across the board between athletes, coaches, national bodies, different programs, then it can't go bad, surely. Surely.
I agree. But it also doesn't have to come from the system. I feel like there's nothing wrong with, if you're an athlete and you want to train with a specific athlete, reach out to them.
Absolutely.
Given your coaches are okay with it, please always work with your coaches first. Don't go
Yeah,
against your coaches.
for sure.
But, like some of the best learning I've had has been from a training camp we did last year. Jordan came and I trained with Tarara, the guy I lost to at Worlds.
Yeah.
I trained with him for a week straight, and I learnt from him we learnt from each other for a week straight. And yeah, that was literally just by us bouncing ideas off each other. Not because coach said, Matty, ask Tarara what he does. Not because Faris said to Tarara, ask Matty what he does. We just kind of worked together and, learned from each other.
Yeah, it's that connection piece.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely with Australia, like you guys are doing a really great job of connecting with other countries. And I think that's incredible. Like I love listening to all of the people that you've met across the world and you talk about them like they're your best friends. And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. And that is perfectly fine because it lights you up on the inside. And I think that's incredible. And the more that you guys do that, like the longer you're in the industry, the longer more comps that you go to, you're going to have people all over the world that you can call on whenever you need to. And I think that's beautiful.
For sure.
What's the biggest gift Taekwondo has given you?
Biggest gift it's given me? I think challenge, that's actually a really tough question. I've never thought about that. Challenge was the first thing that popped into mind.
Mm-hmm.
It has given me people. I've now got lifelong friendships. I've got people in my life now that, I wouldn't have without Taekwondo, and the thought of that makes me really sad. But yeah, like I've met so many cool people. I've learned some values that not everybody has, or, like it takes a long time for people to learn. And I think I've learned a lot of that really early because of Taekwondo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is it's taught me to zoom out. It's taught me to reflect and think that a couple years ago, I was not where I am now. In a couple years' time, I'm not going to be where I am now.
Yeah.
in months, like in a couple months' time, I'm not going to be where I am now. So I think that's one of the biggest learnings. It's so hard to say just one. Taekwondo is my life and it's given me so much.
What's something that you figured out about yourself that coaches haven't told you?
That coaches haven't told me. Well, this is hard because coach has told me this, but it's something I've worked out myself.
Yeah.
Is I like everything to be perfect, but it's okay when they're not.
Mm.
I think I learned that I like everything to be perfect, and coach taught me that it's okay when it's not.
So you're talking about like your plans and things when you've got your plans in place and it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah.
What sort of things used to happen when things didn't go to plan for you?
Shut down, nervous. I'd cry. I was a big crier.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, it's just an emotion. You're just trying to release the feeling inside, right? Like, it's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time the emotion was uncertainty and overwhelm because I had a plan. It's gone away from the plan. What does that mean? And the only way I could release that was through crying. And I think I've learned that, uncertainty is opportunity. If something doesn't go your way, that's okay. Eventually it will go your way again. And yeah, I think that's probably one of my biggest learnings. Everything has to be perfect. Everything, you find a way. Everything will fall into place. I just have faith that it will.
Yeah, I love that mindset shift for you because it was a big part of your life for quite a while about the perfection, and then
Do or die or...
Yeah. And now switching it to being like, okay, I can learn something from this. I can grow from this. And I think you've got more contingency plans now than what you ever did before. Also just trusting in yourself more now than you ever did before.
Yeah.
That you will work out.
For sure. And that's taken some challenges in life, I think. Not so much just in Taekwondo. Like, I always fall back on my feet. Everyone falls on their feet.
Yeah.
Things are hard and, life gets tough. But at the end of the day, I'm always back at training on Monday morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Life is life and sometimes life's harder than usual. But
for sure.
It's a choice that you get to still just show up.
For sure.
I think it comes back to that choice. You can choose to just keep showing up, or you can choose just to let life. If you could go back and tell Matty Summerfield that won the bronze in the if you could go back and tell Matthew Summerfield that won the bronze at the Junior World Championships, what's something that you would say to that young kid?
Probably that I'm proud of him because I think I skipped over that pretty quickly. I just jumped to the next thing. I wasn't, I played it down and was like, okay, what's next? Whereas, I've learned to, be proud of myself. You have to be proud of what you do. If you're working towards a goal and you get to it, then take a moment, take a second, whether that be you write it down, you share it with someone that, you're comfortable sharing your goals and that you're proud of yourself with. Don't be running around telling everyone, yeah, like I did this, I did that. That's not what I'm saying. Just, I wish I had told myself I was proud of myself.
I was proud of you. I'm so proud. Oh my God. So proud.
Wait, I want to go back real quick. One thing I would have liked to have told myself is be a little bit more creative. Have fun. Because, like I said, I jumped to the next thing really quickly. And straight away I was like, okay, now I have to get better. I was already, in quotations, good enough. I was already at the level, right? I just put a lot of pressure on myself. Now I need to be better. And I lost a big aspect of creativity and playfulness that, you are as a kid. As a young athlete, you just you do what you know, you explore, you try things. And then once you try and get good, you do what you're good at and you try and make that better. And you almost force it. I know. I think it would have been good if I was a little bit more creative, a little bit earlier, and stayed playful.
Yeah, because you do that now, right? Like you go out and have fun on the mats.
Yep,
And
definitely.
watching your face when you do that first kick and that you're so proud of yourself and you're like, that was fun when you come off the mats and you are just smiling from ear to ear. Like you did it on the weekend at Oceania. You'd hurt yourself, but you were smiling from ear to ear. You're like, yeah, I just did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that plays a massive part. If you can be proud of yourself, whether you win or lose
Mm-hmm.
on the
Yeah, for
day,
sure.
whether you win or lose, but being proud of yourself, I think is a massive part of just life in general. Because I know it plays out for me every time I do a visualization, every time I'm writing my goals of what I want to do and where I want to go, like proud, making myself proud, but then also making my boys proud is a massive part of life, I think. You can be, yeah, you can lose and still be proud of yourself in how you lost and what you learnt. If you could give one of the athletes that are watching or listening to this a piece of advice, maybe they're showing up every day, maybe they're trying, maybe they're stepping out on the mats and giving it a go, but not getting the results that they want, what is something that you would say to them?
I'd say take charge, own everything you're doing, and work out if that's actually enough. For a long time, myself, I thought I was doing everything I could, and I was going until it was too hard not to. Whoa, sorry, big stutter.
Explain that again. Say that again.
Lost my train of thought, sorry. Hold yourself accountable is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I would push myself to where I thought was enough. I didn't give my everything. I pushed until I thought it was enough. The coaches will be happy with that.
Mm.
And it took me some time to realize that this is what I do. This is what I want to do. I'm choosing to do this as my thing, as life. So what I'd say to that person is take charge, work out if you're going as hard as you actually can, learn, not just Taekwondo outside. There's so many resources. There's so many people to learn from, so many other athletes. Take charge, learn, and, trust that if you do work hard and learn and give it everything, that it's going to fall into place if it's meant to. You really have to trust that. Things take time and you need to give it time.
Mm.
In no way am I saying sit around and wait. That's not it. You need to take opportunities when they come up. You need to chase opportunities, create opportunities, and just get after it. Like really take it on yourself, make hard decisions, make hard choices, do hard things. Yep, done. I think you can work on your mindset. That's a big part of Taekwondo. I know Mum's working on something with the Champions Corner that will be coming out soon, which is exciting. But,
Yeah.
learn, work on your mindset and let that play into Taekwondo. Let that
Yeah.
play into your training.
Yeah, don't get me started. So the mindset piece is a huge piece because I saw it on the weekend watching these competitors and they step onto the mat and sometimes before they've even stepped onto the mat, they've lost because of who they're up against or they get scored on a couple of times and they can't bring themselves back to it. Like, yeah, I'm excited to bring what I'm bringing. Excited. Can I ask one more question? Because I think this is really,
Sure.
really important.
For sure.
What is something that you would say to the parents of the athletes that aren't doing that aren't winning the medals like you are wanting them to?
Well, that's tough because I'm not exactly a parent.
No, but you're the athlete that has heard it and seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think like Mum, you do a great job being mum and just listening. Often I know if I've screwed up, I know that I've screwed up, or my coach has told me that I've screwed up, or my teammate has told me that I've screwed up. I don't really need to hear it from you too.
Yeah.
And often, like, that.
Yeah, I do.
That my coaches will pull me into line if I need to, and it's not really your job in my professional environment. It's like, if you have an office job and your boss yells at you because you did something wrong, and then you went home and I yelled at you because you screwed up at work today. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't
No.
make sense. So I just say, like, and I don't want to overstep, I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's like. I'm sure it's
No,
hard
but
for
you
parents.
definitely are the athlete that, like, these are the conversations that the Champion Corner is having, right? You're the athlete that feels it when you lose. And if I can get inside of the minds of these athletes, like what is it that they don't want to hear from their parents? Because I know that there are conversations that parents are having with the athletes. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I know that there have been times that I'm like, what the hell, Matthew? Why did you do that? But then I'm also very quick to be like, not my place. And you're also very good at saying like, not right now, mum. Because I switch between coach hat and mum hat. And right, you will say, right now I want mum, or right now I need coach. And I love that for us. But I know that there are a lot of athletes out there that sit there and listen to their parents. And this comes from a place of love. And this is coming from a place of learning for the parents and growth for the parents, but also giving the athletes the confidence to say, mum, dad, respectfully, shut up and just love me.
Yeah. I think 9 times out of 10, like the kids are giving everything. And you know, the one time out of 10 where you've had to be like, Matthew, did you actually? You know, it's rare that happens. And then, I don't know, I think usually you need to trust that I'm doing what I have to do. And I just need you to be mum sometimes.
Yeah. Because parents, I promise you, they are not going out there to lose. They are not going out there to not give it their best. Because they know if they do lose and they don't do well, they're going to get yelled at by you. So I promise you, they are actually trying out there. And this is part of the reason that I started the Champions Corner, because I was at a competition and I saw it happen over and over again where their parents were losing their shit, their kids were losing. And like one kid actually just didn't want to come off the mats because he was terrified about what his mum was going to say. And I would hope that I've never done that to you as mum or as coach hat. It's not my place. I'm not in your shoes. It's not my job. It's not our job as parents to tell us what you did and didn't do. It's just our place to love and support you and pay the bill along the way.
Thank you, Mom.
You're like, that's my job.
No comment.
All right. We are out of here. Matthew did drop that there is something coming that we've been working on behind the scenes of the Champions Corner. It is going to be available to every athlete, parent and coach very bloody shortly. It is going to be at a price that even the athletes can afford themselves. And I am just excited because I think it's going to be a freaking game changer for Australian Taekwondo. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Anything else you want to drop in before we head off?
No, I think I've done a lot of ramble today, so I apologize.
That's okay.
A little bit.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, and you know, I'm enjoying being on here. I'd be happy to be back if people have questions for me or they want to know specific things.
Absolutely. Hit Matthew up on Instagram or myself at the Kate Elizabeth. We are always here for questions and we will answer anything. Can be anonymous if you like. That is perfectly fine with us. But now that you're not cutting weight, you're not being such a jerk, we will definitely be having you back. And we've got some new guests coming up this season on the Champions Corner podcast as well. That is Matty Summerfield. My name is Kate Elizabeth. I'm the athlete mindset coach. So let's start building stronger villages together because remember, guys, teamwork makes their dreams work.
That's so cheesy.
I know, and I love it, and it's not going anywhere.
That's so cheesy. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I love having you on. Bye, mate.